Hey guys, welcome to the Animation Movies Recapped. This is David with you. In today's video I am going to recap a 2019 computer animated film adventure comedy film called Latte and the Magic Waterstone. I really enjoyed the movie and hope you all will like it too. So without wasting any more time, let's start with the recap. The animation opens in a forest community. In the forest, a hedgehog is rolling around, searching for water and having fun. She comes across a flower and tries to collect the remaining water from it. She's Princess Latte, a social outcast in the forest who lives on her own. Furthermore, she rolls back to her small home and falls asleep. There's a recent water drought in the forest community, and it forced the creatures to store every little water they can find in pumpkins. A squirrel goes up to check the forest's water reserve in the pumpkins and complains to a bunny that they barely have any left. The bunny tells him to organize everyone for a meeting so they can discuss what to do. A little bunny calls his friend out to play with other little creatures, and they both run, leaving behind T-Jum, a squirrel. Latte finally wakes up and hears some noises in the bush. She sees other kids bullying T-Jum and not letting him play with them. She immediately gets angry and rolls toward them, scaring the other kids and making them run. T-Jum was embarrassed and couldn't look at Latte, even when she tried talking to him. The other kids come out and start making fun of T-Jum while laughing. Latte gets angry and confronts them. She makes fun of them too and mocks them for running away to meet their daddy. The bigger kid faces her and tells her at least they have a daddy. The kids leave Latte and T-Jum and go away to play somewhere else. T-Jum gets angry and blames Latte for ruining everything. She was shocked and tells T-Jum that she only defended him against the kids who were bullying him. They continue shouting at each other and Latte angrily asks him to go meet the other kids and keep acting like a moron so they can keep on laughing at him. He hops off and leaves Latte, who became mad at herself for defending him. While sitting on a branch, removing the dirt from his tail, T-Jum's sister comes out, teases him, and asks him why he was dirty. He shouts at her and tells her to leave him alone. While still cleaning his tail, he mistakenly falls his nut from the tree, and it rolls down to the doorstep of Latte's home. He tries to sneak and pick the nut, but was eventually caught by Latte. She picks up the butt, gives it to him, and carries her shell to drink the water in it. T-Jum stops her and collects the shell. He tells her that the water is for everyone, and she isn't supposed to be keeping it for herself alone. She's supposed to pour it into the pumpkin along with the rest. She explains that no one cared about her and gave her water from the pumpkin, so she collects and stores her water by herself. T-Jum still doesn't listen and carries the shell to go pour the water inside the pumpkin. Latte pursues him and catches up before he poured it. He tells her to admit she is not special and that he would give her back the water. When Latte doesn't admit it, he pours everything into the pumpkin. She rolls at him and he mistakenly falls into the pumpkin. The fall breaks the pot and pours all the water the creatures stored in it away. They quickly hide before other animals see them. The chief bunny calls for an emergency council meeting. T-Jum and Latte hid in a tree trunk as they argued about telling the council. T-Jum believed it was the right thing to do, while Latte tried to stop him from doing so because no one saw them, and they were safe. During their argument, the tree trunk rolls off and falls in the middle of the council meeting. T-Jum's father sees him and tells him to go home and take care of his sister. The chief bunny stops T-Jum and asks them if they knew anything about the broken pumpkin. T-Jum comes out and says the truth. The creatures were shocked and started condemning him and Latte. While they were still wondering what to do, Corp, an old raven, flies down to the meeting and tells them there is hope. He tells them about a magic water stone and instructs them to return the magic water stone to the top of the mountain, and water will flow again into their forest. The creatures don't believe him, and he tells them the story of the magic water stone. A magic water stone appeared on the top of the White Mountain. The water stone allowed water to flow freely into their forest until King Banter, a bear, stole the water stone and left them with the remains of the last wanted that flowed. Corp, the old raven, tells them that they have to go to the bear forest and retrieve the magic water stone from King Banter, then set it back on top of the White Mountain. That's the only way water can flow back to the forest. Everyone still does not believe him and said he was talking nonsense, but Latte believed and tried to convince everyone to go get the magic water stone from the forest. They shun her, and she got angry and volunteered to go by herself. The creatures start condemning her once again and hope she does not return. She angrily walks off and goes searching for the magic water stone. T-Jum tries to follow her, but his father stops him. While Latte was on her way, she meets a beaver who was constructing a dam. Latte asks him why he is constructing a dam when there is no water. He tells her that he has a feeling water will come from a landslide he saw at the front, so he's building a dam to control the flow of the water. Latte tells him she's on her way to get the magic water stone from King Banter and make water flow in the forest again. The beaver tells her he doesn't know about any water stone, but directs her to the forest where King Banter lived. She thanks him as she walks away and tells him to keep building the dam because water will come soon. Taejum's sister informs Taejum that she is worried about Lotte going to get the water stone alone. Taejum assures her that Lotte is fine and is sleeping inside her home. Later at night, Lotte is all alone in the forest. She looks up to the sky and tells her father she needs him. The next morning, Taejum wakes up and realizes that Lotte was not at him and had gone to get the magic water stone. He goes out searching for her to bring her back to the forest. He catches up with her soon and tries to convince her to return to the forest, but she ignores him and says she'll get the water stone. Furthermore, he follows her and tells her about the wild animals in the forest and how they'd eat her, but she doesn't listen and continues marching forward. They come across a sleeping lynx ahead. Taejum mistakenly wakes him up, and he immediately starts pushing them. Taejum and Lotte run separate ways, but the lynx follows Taejum. When he couldn't catch him, he turns and goes after Lotte. Taejum creates a distraction. By throwing nuts at the lynx, it then turned and started pursuing Taejum all over. It ended up pursuing both creatures and almost caught them. A tree fell on top of it. It was the beaver who chopped off the tree for his dam. He meets Lotte again and tells her and Taejum to be careful in the forest. Taejum tries again to convince Lotte to come back home with him, but she ignores him and keeps on going. Back in the forest, the ground has dried up and there's barely any water left. Taejum's father is worried about his son and Lotte. The chief bunny assures him that Corp will find them and they'll be fine. Meanwhile, Taejum is trying to hold Lotte and drag her back home as she struggles to go forward. They start fighting and fall into the cave of a toad. She introduces herself as a former princess and asks them what they were doing in her cave. They tell her they were on a mission, then she tells them it's late and the lynx is more active at night. She convinces them to sleep in her cave and continue their journey the next day. Taejum tells her to help him inform Lotte that the magic water stone doesn't exist. She then notifies Taejum that it exists and he should believe it. Later, she serves them bug-infested fruits and eventually made them fall asleep. The next morning, the toad tells them that they have to stay together and work together on their mission. She convinces them and later directs them on where to go next. She warns that they're about to enter the realm of the wolves and they should be careful of Lupo and his wolves. After entering the realm of the wolves, they saw the creatures there running away. While wondering what was going on, Lotte said the creatures feared her and Taejum. Taejum ignores her and tries to run and hide. He and Lotte eventually met the wolves, and they began circling them as they asked what they were doing in their territory. Lotte tells them they were on a mission to get back the magic water stone. The wolves became shocked and eventually, Lupo let them pass to continue their mission. Little did they know that he had a plan in mind. After crossing the wolf's territory, Lotte asked for a water berry and Taejum decides to make her play a game before she gets it. She lost the game, but afterward, she caught him cheating. He gives her the water berry fruit and she shares it with him. While eating the fruit, Lotte confesses to Taejum and tells him that she was never a princess and that her father was not the king of Zogangu Forest. She only lied because she does not know who her father is. Taejum tells her he knew she isn't a princess. He says his father told him and it doesn't matter, he understood her. He uses his tail to keep both of them warm while they stare at the lights in the sky. The next morning, they keep on walking and searching for the bear forest. After they've walked for a long time, Taejum tells Lotte that they should go back home. She doesn't listen and mentions to Taejum that they're almost at the place. Taejum then tells her he's going back and tries to give her the remaining water berries. She asks him to give it to his family and that she does not need him or the water berries. He still tries to force it on her and they mistakenly scatter the water berries, which fell to the ground and burst. They continue arguing and Lotte tells Taejum to go back home. While shouting at each other, Lotte mistakenly slips and falls to the ground, but fortunately, she rolled herself before falling and wasn't injured. Taejum tells her to look for a way to climb back up, but she says no and still insists that she can do without him, then she walks away. As Taejum was about to leave, some birds flew past him. He turned around and followed the birds, climbed a hill, and finally saw the bear forest he and Lotte has been searching for. While looking at the bears, Taejum tripped and fell off the hill he was standing on. He fell in the middle of some bears practicing ballet. He tried to leave but couldn't and ended up being squashed accidentally by one of the bears as it practiced. Taejum became unconscious and lay on the bear's back as it crawled back to the palace with the other bears after practice. He wakes up almost immediately but could not leave the back of the bear. The bear was Prince Amaru, the son of King Banter. Prince Amaru tells Taejum he knows he's on his back and he should hide, so the palace guard won't see him. After they got inside successfully, Taejum exclaimed with shock as he saw the beauty of the palace. It's night already, and Lotte is lost and wandering on the road, searching for the bear forest while still angry at Taejum. She sees an already prepared cave that looks like her home, but was empty. She decides to spend her night in it. While asleep, a strange hedgehog walks in and wakes Lotte up. It was his cave and he wanted her to leave. Lotte sees him and immediately calls him daddy. He tells her he's not her father and she should leave his cave, but she doesn't listen. He tried to sleep, but Lotte kept on disturbing him. Furthermore, he tells Lotte he's not her father and he does not have any children. Not only that, but he says that hedgehogs are always alone and lonesome creatures. They don't have friends and they don't have a family. This made Lotte cry and go away. Inside the bear palace, Prince Amaru and Tijum get to know each other. Tijum sees a water fountain in Amaru's room and asks for a drink. While about to drink the water, Amaru explains to him that they didn't have any water in the past until his father went out and brought a magic water stone. Tijum was surprised when he found out that Amaru was the son of King Bantu. He tells Amaru that his father stole the magic water stone from them, and they did not have any water to drink. Amaru became disappointed. He thought his father was a hero. He informs Tijum that if he takes the magic water stone, that means they won't have any water here again. Tijum explains to him that if they take the magic water stone and put it on the White Mountain, everyone will have water. Amaru believed Tijum and commended him for coming by himself to have his forest community. Tijum tells him he didn't come by himself, but he came with his best friend, Lotte. Lotte comes back to the hedgehog and asks him to help show her where the magic water stone is. He helps her and leads her to a water fountain. She will have to swim to the top and get the water stone without waking the bears up. Tijum and Amaru try to sneak outside, but Tijum was caught by the palace guard. Lotte swam and finally reached the source of the fountain, but it was the heart of the palace. She saw King Banter asleep and the magic water stone at the back of his throne. As she planned to get the stone, a fish jumped out of the water and she tripped and fell into the water. The strong current carried her backward and she was caught by the palace guards and thrown into prison. She met Tijum in the prison and apologized to him. Tijum also apologized and told her he met King Banter's son, Prince Amaru. He tells her they have to find a way to escape from the prison and go back home, but Lotte says she can't leave without the water stone. While they're talking, Amaru rolls the prison rock away and tries to break them out of prison, but he was caught by the guards and they took all of them to the king. When they met the king, Lotte tells him that they came to collect the magic water stone. King Banter gets angry and orders the palace guards to throw them out of the palace. He begins his morning routine to dance with other bears while the guards carried Tijum and Lotte out of the palace. The palace guards get carried away with the dance and stop to watch the bears dancing. King Banter unknowingly knocks them out while dancing, and Tijum and Lotte became free. They run immediately to get the magic stone. Lotte successfully removes it and the water stops rushing in the palace. King Banter gets angry and starts pursuing them immediately. They run together with Amaru and were able to come out of the palace and escape King Banter. While crossing the bridge, Lotte was afraid of heights and Tijum offered to help her. It slowed them down and King Banter caught up with them once again. He almost gets them, but the tree bridge breaks and he falls. His growl awakened Lupo and his wolves, and they immediately ran and stopped Lotte and Tijum with the magic water stone before they got to the White Mountain. As they were about to collect the stone, King Banter appeared again and stopped them. The animals started fighting each other for the stone. Tijum and Lotte used the opportunity to sneak out, but they were blocked once again by the lynx. Everyone began trying to collect the stone from Lotte. She and Tijum stopped them and offered the animals the chance to collect the stone by playing a game. The same game she played with Tijum earlier. Tijum started the game and secretly passed the stone to Lotte. He distracted the animals with the game while Lotte ran to the top of the White Mountain to fix the magic water stone there. By the time the animals realized they were being fooled, it was late and Lotte successfully fixed the water stone. Water began flowing everywhere and it carried all animals away. Corp flew down and carried Tijum and Lotte away from the water and back to their forests. The water finally flows through the forest and every animal quenched their thirst. Tijum reunited with his family and they adopted Lotte to be part of their family too. The kids gather around them and they all go out to play together. The end. If you loved this video, please leave a like and subscribe.